I don't usually do opinion pieces because opinions can change, but I've been thinking about this for many years, and every year it becomes more apparent. And who knows, maybe some of my opinions presented here will change over the years, but I think the baseline will stay the same. It's that we're all idiots in some way or another. Now, I'm not trying to badmouth anyone in particular, I'm just saying things as I see them. I've touched this subject a bit in one of my previous videos, but the problem isn't people being stupid. The problem lies in people thinking that they're smarter than they actually are.
I am too smart. I am too smart. I am too smart.
And I think everyone thinks they're smarter than they are. And yeah, I'm saying they, but I mean we. I'm not in any way saying that I'm smarter than the average person, I'm just as dumb as the rest, but of course I do think that too. I like to think it's only natural, but unfortunately thinking so doesn't make it true. Why do I think it's natural? Fuck if I know. Maybe that's the only explanation I could come up with. Another thing I've been hearing is that young people are smarter than older people. How does one actually come to that conclusion? I have no idea. With current PC, meme this, meme that, fuck critical thinking, fuck education, hyperactive ADHD bullshit, I really find it hard to believe. Yeah, the next generation always comes up with new ideas, for better or for worse, and I guess some people see it as intelligence. I don't know why. And there are different kinds of smart, but I really don't want to dig deeper into that shithole. Except for one which I didn't even know was a thing until recently, and that is being people smart.
A people smart person, or someone with a developed interpersonal intelligence, builds healthy, positive, and effective relationships.
Meaning you can read someone's body language and expressions. Are we so obsessed on being smart, so we have to come up with constantly new ways of assuring ourselves that we actually are smart? Yay, I noticed that chick is pissed without her even saying it. I'm people smart. I mean, really? But then again, I know some people have problems reading other people, but does that have anything to do with being smart? I don't think it does. I have many times heard statements like, in general, people are smart, or people are smart enough not to fall for that, or people aren't dumb. And I've always found myself thinking, do they really believe that, or just saying it for whatever weird reasons? Maybe they do believe it, and maybe some people usually think that way. Why? If you know, do tell. And if people think people are smart, then I must be really smart because I'm smarter than the average person, you know?
I am too smart.
Or maybe the average person is smart, but the others are dumb.
I'm smart, you're dumb. I'm big, you're little. I'm right, you're wrong.
Or person is smart, people are dumb. You know what? I can give two shits about which one is the more probable one, because in the end the fact remains. I'm saying fact, but I mean my opinion, but that is what the word nowadays means, isn't it? Opinions equal facts. More importantly, you have the facts and the others have their silly uninformed opinions. You ever heard the phrase, I know that's the way it is, but this is how I feel? Kinda contradictory, isn't it? What I hear is, that's what you say, but I know I'm right. The every opinion matters way of thinking may have something to do with it. When you hear that your opinion is just as valid, you might start thinking that your opinions have just much as weight as facts. And that is also when problems arise. When people see their opinions as facts. Whether you are discussing politics, social issues, or whatever, it very often boils down to opinions stated as facts. Or maybe they don't straight up call them facts, but talk with such confidence that they can't be taken as other than such. I think even the people we like to think as intellectuals sometimes make the same mistake. But then again, isn't that what opinions basically are? Subjective facts, meaning your opinions are facts to you. I don't think no one thinks their opinions are false. That wouldn't make any sense. Well, what about the facts, bruh? I got the facts, bruh. I had to break it to you, but you got two things.
Jack and shit. And Jack left town.
Everyone in an argument think they have the facts. These days the word fact means fuck all. You can't really tell if someone is smart or not by just strolling the streets. But granted, you can see or hear dumb shit every day on the streets if you pay enough attention. But the best evidence is found in the internet. Where else? They say people become idiots when they go online, but that's not exactly the case now, is it? Now, people usually have filters when they interact with others in the real world that prevents them from spewing whatever fucked up shit comes to their minds. I think mainly because in the real world actions usually have consequences, or, well, at least used to have, and the filters are there to prevent said consequences. Okay, yes, nowadays there are more consequences than there was before, and it seems even your past mistakes can get you in trouble, but I think that only applies to public figures, at least, mostly. But anyway, those filters turn off when people go online where real-life consequences are non-existent. Can you imagine a world where everyone would act like they do on the internet?
Hey, what's going on? I just said I like Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah, same thing happened to me when I said I didn't like Stranger Things.
But fuck Batman.
What?
Oh.
It would be fucking mayhem. I don't think there has been a day on the internet when I haven't at some point thought, what the fuck did I just read? Honestly, in the long run, it starts to wear you down. You might think, well, if you can't handle the internet, stay out of it. But that doesn't really change reality now, does it? And honestly, I don't even think that anymore. I just think, just another day in humanity. And speaking of reality, it's becoming alarmingly common for some people to try and change reality to their liking. Well, the alarming part isn't them trying. The alarming part is that they might actually be succeeding. It doesn't matter how low your numbers are. If you scream loud enough, you'll get shit done. But that's a completely different topic. That's why I kinda hate social media. It gives every asshole a platform to spread their opinions. And I think the world was a better place when that wasn't the case. Whatever your opinion is, whatever the subject, there is always people who agree, and they think people agreeing validates their opinion, and when we are talking about opinions, they may evolve to dangerous actions. And that's when shit hits the fan. Now, I'm all for free speech and I hate censorship. I'm just saying when people with similar opinions get together, their opinions tend to strengthen and evolve. I don't know if people even register it, but sometimes when they have an agenda and try to prove a point, they seem to gloss over every contradicting piece of information. At certain points, even 100% scientific debunking of someone's opinions doesn't matter. They've gone too deep in their rabbit hole not to accept any other truth. Why? I don't know. Maybe the shame of being wrong would be too much to handle, so the mind is protecting itself or something. Can't tell. Now, I can see the dangers of free speech, possibly dangerous people being able to share their ideas and all that. But if you're starting to dictate what people can or can't say, that's even more dangerous path to follow, in my opinion. Just a little hint. If you want to preserve your mental health, don't go to Twitter. The amount of stupid shit in there is just baffling. If I wanted to, I could fill this video with nothing but stupid shit from Twitter, but I'm trying to keep this video as unbiased as I can, and I know stuff I consider as stupid shit someone else thinks as smart stuff. Because when talking about opinions, what is smart or stupid is totally subjective. Most of the time it's like, if you agree with me, you're smart. If you disagree with me, you're stupid.
I'm smart, you're dumb.
And that's one of the points I'm trying to make. We're all a bunch of idiots who only see like-minded people as intelligent. Or then it's people who talk about stuff that sounds too convoluted for us. I don't understand what he's saying, so he must be intelligent. Or then he's a fucking idiot. I guess it depends on who you ask and what's the subject. So I guess people think people in general are smart, but only the ones that disagree with me are idiots, you know? Yeah, it's not just Twitter, it's all of social media, Facebook, YouTube, etc. But I just wanted to single out Twitter as an example. Everyone in Twitter has their following to agree them, and all differing opinions are just uneducated trolls.
Do I think there are people like that? Yes, unfortunately I do. But I don't give a shit, you know.
It's fucking baffling, to be honest. Everyone's just tweeting from their secure echo chambers, ready to dismiss all counter-arguments as retarded mumbling. And I feel like this shit is affecting me personally. I didn't used to be this cynical. Just a couple of years back, I always could feel my faith in humanity faint just a little bit when I witnessed something unbelievably dumb. And now it's all gone. All hope is lost. I'm dead inside. You can hear it in my voice, my dead, monotone, fed up with humanity voice. Sometimes you read or see something so positive you feel like, faith in humanity restored, right? Not me. Not anymore. I feel like I'm fucking anxious all the time. If it's not social media, it's news, politics, or basic everyday life or something else. Sometimes I think that I should just go off the grid for a while, but at this point I don't think it would do anything. My faith in humanity is gone and it's not coming back. Okay, I went off on a tangent there a bit, sorry about that. Okay, back on track. Well, almost. This doesn't really have anything to do with intelligence per se, but another thing that pisses me off is people using the current year argument. Yeah, it's 2019, so the fuck what? If you take our electricity or our technology away, we wouldn't be smarter than the people in the 1600s. Because in the end, we're still just 2 steps from burning witches, for fuck's sake. Technology doesn't make us smarter or more evolved. I think it actually makes us more stupid because we don't have to think for ourselves anymore. I feel like I can't stress this enough, but we are not nearly as evolved as you might think we are. But all that being said, as a counterpoint, you of course can't measure intelligence with only one metric. There's IQ, knowledge, ability to adapt, even motivation, etc. But, and I can't stress this enough, greed isn't intelligence. And yes, even the smartest person can be dumb at something, and even the dumbest person can be smart at something. The only really smart thing we can do is not to pretend to know something when we don't. Of course, it's easier said than done when you, in your head, can't always, if ever, differentiate facts from your own opinions. And talking about greed, again, this has little to do with intelligence, but Every now and then I see people bickering about how communism doesn't work, or socialism doesn't work, or capitalism doesn't work. And yes, I do that too, but I'd say the problem isn't the ideology or the ism. The problem is people always fucking everything up. How hard is it to just forget the isms and try to come up with something that actually works? And it's not enough to label our societies. People are always labeling themselves and each other, I think, nowadays more than ever. Some people just seem to have a need to have a label to identify themselves and others as. And even labels aren't enough anymore. There has to be sub-labels for the labels. Can't you people just be? What is it with fucking labels? Can't you think for yourselves? So you need a label to tell you how to think? Or make you feel like you're part of something? Those labels and sub-labels are just going to cause more trouble, more conflict. And honestly, and I know this sounds like hyperbole, but I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if a civil war would break out in a Western country. We call this a Western civilization, but we are not civilized. Far from it. The first chance we get, we turn into fucking barbarians. But then again, I really shouldn't bother myself with this shit, so fuck it. And looks like I got off the rails again, so let's try to get back on track again. Anyway, I don't know. Sometimes I feel that measuring intelligence is totally pointless. What does anyone gain with the knowledge that, let's say, your IQ is higher than your neighbors? Maybe you can feel a bit superior to them, but that's about it. And that gets me back to my original point, that we like to think we're better than others.
I'm fucking better than you, okay? Much better than you.
And knowledge just means you've read or seen something I haven't. Memory is also a part of it. I don't even want to know the amount of things I've forgotten over the years. And I think in everyday life, knowledge is the only metric we use to make conclusions about one's intelligence anyway. But knowing shit really doesn't make a person more intelligent than others. Everyone knows something, and perceived knowledge is also something that makes things difficult. By that I mean someone talking with such confidence that he must be talking about something he has knowledge of, like I stated earlier, but confidence has nothing to do with knowledge. So yeah, knowledge, IQ, opinions. None of that has any real meaning because we all come into this world, we do what we do, and then we leave. Now you might say, well, you need knowledge, but not everyone needs to know everything. Like I said, everyone knows something. Just stick to things you feel passionate about or interested in. For example, if you don't care about politics, don't vote. If you don't follow politics and just listen to campaign slogans and vote who appeals to you the most when the time comes, don't vote. People might say, but you have to vote. But you don't. If you really want to vote but don't care about politics, please do some research first. And yet another thing I've heard is people who read are smarter, but I don't think that's the case. Yes, it broadens their vocabulary and knowledge, but that's it. People who read may be more willing to explore new things and are more open-minded, but that doesn't make them more intelligent. Again, they just know more shit, and again, I don't think knowledge equals intelligence. And neither does open-mindedness for that matter. And yes, I know I'm generalizing, and I'm sure not nearly everyone spews stupid shit online, but again, I just say it as I see it. Because at the core, I think we are all still just borderline cavemen. And finally, a little about the definition of intelligence. Merriam-Webster defines it as the ability to learn or understand or to deal with new or trying situations, or the ability to apply knowledge to manipulate one's environment or to think abstractly as measured by objective criteria, such as tests. So basically, it's ability to acquire and apply information. I'll go out on a limb and say that because information these days is so easy to acquire, that gives the people some false sense of intelligence. And I wouldn't say that doing good at tests makes you intelligent. I think ability to acquire information isn't that simple. There are multiple factors in people's ability to absorb information, motivation being a big part of it, at least for me. If I don't care what I'm reading about, I'm not going to remember it in T-2 days. And doing good in a test doesn't mean you can or are capable of using learned information, or even remember all of it 2 weeks after. But of course, if Merriam-Webster's definition would be the only definition we see intelligence as, maybe the word wouldn't be so, well, muddled. Because the word is thrown around so loosely these days, it has lost a lot of its meaning. The second someone knows even one thing you don't, oh, he's so intelligent. Well, or claims to know. But those are only one man's thoughts and opinions on the matter. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And I know I just touched the surface of the subject, but that's how I usually operate. Another reason I don't usually do videos like this. And I think the topic is too broad for one video anyway. And intelligence or stupidity in general is too complex of a subject to really delve into. But we're all different, and we all have different traits, and no metric can truly define one's intelligence, no matter how many metrics there are. And it shouldn't matter either, because we're all idiots who think we know what we don't. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.